multi-step equations with variables on the same side of the equation. They are on the same side today. They'll be on opposite sides tomorrow. All right, example 2. We see that we need to get rid of these parentheses. There's nothing inside that I can do. I need to multiply what? 4 or negative 4 and use the distributive property. So we have 5x, and then negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12 equals 17. And again, these variables are on the same side, so I just do what they say. It says 5x minus 4x, which equals 1x. I still have plus 12 equals 17. And now I'm ready to start solving. So I simplified first what I could, and now I'm ready to solve. X is being added by 12, so I subtract 12, and I get x equals 5. Example 4. We need to simplify by using the distributive property. 2/9 times 4y. If I make this a fraction, I see that there's nothing that can cross cancel, so I'm just going to multiply straight across. 2 times 4y is 8y. 9 times 1 is 9. So that would be 8y divided by 9. And then I need to do the same thing again for the second term. If I make this a fraction, I can see that nothing in the numerator or denominator will cancel. So I'm just going to multiply straight across. It's a positive times a negative, which is a negative. And then 2 times 2 is 4. And 9 times 1 is 9. Now I'm ready to start solving for y now that I have simplified everything that I can. I'm going to start by undoing subtracting by adding 4/9, adding 4/9. 4 is in the whole column. 4/9 is in the fraction column. What is 0 plus 4/9? That would be 4/9. And then 4 plus 0 is 4. So 4 plus 4/9 is 4 and 4/9 equals 8y over 9. Now I'm going to use the reciprocal to get y by itself. The reciprocal of 8/9 is 9/8. I'm multiplying by 9/8. And I see that my 9s will cancel, my 8s cancel, leaving y. So I have y equals a mixed number times a fraction. How do we multiply a mixed number times a fraction? We need to change the mixed number into an improper fraction. It's got to be one number over another number. We have 9/8 times 9 times 4 is 36, plus 4 is 40/9 equals y. I see that I have a 9 in the numerator that cancels with a 9 in the denominator. And I also see that 8 and 40 can reduce. I can divide by 8. 8 divided by 8 is 1. 40 divided by 8 is 5. When I multiply straight across, 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1. So we get 5 over 1, which just equals 5. Y equals 5. Multiplying with decimals, adding and subtracting. The first thing that I need to do is I need to distribute the -2. -2 times 1.3, let's see, 13 times 2 is 26. So that's going to be 2.6 x for 1 decimal place, 1 decimal place. And then -2 times -4 is +8. I need to simplify. I see 4.1 x minus 2 6/10 x. So we have 4.1 minus 2.6 x. That just comes down in my answer. Borrow. And we get 1.5 x. Now all I have left is a 2-step equation. I see that x is being added by 8 and multiplied by 1.5. I'm ready to start solving now that I have simplified everything that I need to. So I subtract 8. Subtract 8. How do we subtract decimals? We need to line up the decimals. Can I do 0.5 minus 8? No, I need to reverse the order. So that would be -8. These are different signs, so I know that I'm subtracting, and then taking the sign from the larger number. I need to borrow. I can't do 0 minus 5. I borrow from the 8, and this becomes a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. 7 minus 0 is 7. And I take the sign from the larger number. So 8 minus a half is negative 7.5. Now I'm ready to finish my last step. Divide by 1 5/10. Divide by 1 5/10. Now I know that a negative divided by a positive is negative. How many times can 15 go into 75? We know that 15 and 15 is 30. Another 15 and 15 would be another 30. That's 60. And then one more 15. So that's 2, 4, 5. 5 times 15 is 75. Negative 5 times 1.5 would be negative 7.5. Describe and correct the error in solving the equation. So what we have here is a student did it, and they did it incorrectly. That's why it has an X. And what I'm going to do is cover up what the student did, and I'm just going to do the problem myself because it says I have to correct it. So I don't want to look at their mistake because I might end up making the same mistake. I'm just going to do the problem myself. Half of 2x would be 1x. Positive times a negative is a negative. And half of 10 would be 5 equals 4. And again, that can be seen. If I was to make this a fraction, I could cross cancel my 2's. And if I made this a fraction, I could cross cancel 2 and 10. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So you can still see it's negative 5. I just need to solve by adding 5 to the other side. X equals 9. Now let's see what they got and try to find their mistake. All right, so if I look at the very first step, why does mine look different than theirs? They just did a half of the 4, but they didn't do the half where it actually needed to be done. So they didn't do the distributive property correctly. And this is wrong. So they didn't do the distributive property correctly. Done. I've corrected it, and I've described what the mistake was. Geometry. Find the value of x for the triangle. Perimeter equals 24. And we see that we have the perimeter. What is the perimeter? Is the perimeter about the inside, where I could put tiles on the floor? Or is it about the outside, where I would want to put a fence because I have a naughty dog that keeps going off the property? Which one is about perimeter? That would be about going around the outside. Perimeter is about the outside. So what is the perimeter of a triangle? It would be perimeter equals the first side plus the second side plus the third side. You're just adding up all 3 sides. So we know the perimeter is, they told us what that is. It's 24 feet. And then we'll just start here. We'll say the first side is 4x plus the second side, x plus 4, plus the third side, 10 times x minus 1. So we are adding up the first side, the second side, and the third side. We need to start simplifying. I don't see anything outside this parenthesis. It's just a plus sign. Positive times x is still positive x. Positive times 4 is still positive 4. So I can drop these parentheses. So 4x plus x plus 4. But when I get to the next one, I see there's a positive 10 out front. I need to do the distributive property. 10 times x is a positive 10x. And positive 10 times negative 1 is a negative 10. That is our perimeter. I'm looking for things that I can simplify. I'm going to use the commutative property, and I'm going to change the order by putting things that are the same next to each other. So I have 4x plus x plus 10x. all my x's next to each other, and then I have just numbers, a positive 4 and a negative 10. So positive 4 and negative 10. I'm going to add these up. We have 4x plus x. Remember that if you don't see a number, it's understood to have a 1. It's got to be the first one that exists. So 4x plus 1x equals 5x plus 10x equals 15x. And then 4 minus 10 is negative 6. Now I have a two-step equation, and I'm ready to solve. First, I had to simplify, and now I'm ready to solve. We start by, I'm doing adding and subtracting first, and then divide by 15, and we get that x equals 2. But we need to go back and read the question. Did we solve what it wants us to? It says find the value of x. So they weren't asking for what the sides of the triangle are. They were just saying find the value of x, and we did that.